What is going on, guys? Dave from Wake Up It's Football. Bringing you guys a Red Zone Blitz, as always, alongside of Ezra from Idiot Sports Talk. Ezra, I think we just met a couple of days ago, but now we got a Monday night version of the Red Zone Blitz. Monday Night Football just ended, but I'm gonna ask you, how's it going?
Football related wise, let's not talk about the Jets and Cincinnati game. Okay, I think we can exclude that from today's conversation. But besides that, I'm breathing and walking. Got a beautiful smile. I got ears that now not big, but they pop out. So I'm good. Life is good, man. Can't complain.
That's good, man. That's good. I mean, we gotta talk some football though. We gotta talk some football.
Not Jets and Bengals, right? We don't have to talk about that. We don't have
You
to.
know what stinks about that game? I had Andy Dalton sitting on my bench.
Oh, you mean fantasy wise? Yeah, that's a lot of people probably sat down Cincinnati starters because of the Jets quote unquote strong defense. Can't say that with too much confidence right now. But forget about Andy Dalton.
Was it
What
Marvin
about
Jones?
Marvin Jones. Imagine people that sat him. Oh, I bet you.
Nobody had him.
I bet you his thing is gonna spike up this week. Oh, man.
Less than 1% of fantasy leagues had Marvin Jones. And I looked in the ESPN leagues, I think it was like out of the 1% that had him, 0.6% had him starting. Who starts Marvin Jones to begin with? Who expects
People that have injuries, people like me who should have picked up Marvin Jones when Reggie Wayne was out for the season. You know, sometimes you need a spot starter, that kind of situation. Or someone that really believes in the Cincinnati offense.
I think last year that they said something about him tearing an ACL or something to the point where he wasn't able to play last season, and he comes back this year and he just reemerges out of nowhere. So I mean, that's good for him. They found another weapon at wide receiver along with AJ Green and Mohamed Sanu. Don't forget about Andrew Hawkins there. So they might actually have a pretty solid receiving core. And
don't forget about those two tight ends. Those two
Mm-hmm.
athletic tight ends. Before the season started, we said it. The Bengals, and then a lot of other people agree too. The Bengals have great talent. They're well coached, and a lot of people probably scoff that they're like Marvin Lewis, well coached. Yes, well coached. This team, I said it multiple times already, is probably the most balanced team in the AFC. Okay, they have offense, they have defense, special teams. I don't know if you can say that about the Broncos about the special teams and defense so much with as much confidence, but this team is a Super Bowl contender, plain and simple. I didn't expect to get thrashed as we did, but I didn't have too much confidence in my Jets winning this game heading into this weekend.
No, and the other thing is, if you have to narrow it down to three, you're going to be sitting at, I think, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, and Denver. I think those are the only three options you've got in the AFC right now. And I think you can make a case as to why all three can actually go ahead and win a Super Bowl. So I'm going to have to agree with you. I think Cincinnati's a legit threat this year, and we're going to have to go from there. Because defensively, top 10. Andy Dalton, here's the thing with them. Defensively, they're top 10, but Andy Dalton is just starting to catch his groove right now with AJ Green, with some of these other guys like a Marvin Jones. So I'm gonna have to say, yeah, Cincinnati's definitely gonna be a Super Bowl threat. Now, you're gonna have to give me a second because it's probably sitting here wobbling like this, and I don't have it. I have the laptop in my lap, so just give me a second. Ezra, I'm gonna ask you quick. If you had to guess a couple of players who are going to be traded tomorrow, because tomorrow is a trade deadline, who are some of the names that you would throw out?
Oh, this is tough because you're just asking me spur of the moment. Oh, man. The names I'll probably throw out, I don't see it likely happening, okay? But we spoke a little bit about Adrian Peterson. Okay, that's one possibility. Don't see it happening because I think that'll be a long process to trade such a player at that caliber and a lot of negotiations to see what his value would be at this point. There's been talks with the Browns with Josh Gordon. There's been talks with Hakeem Nicks with the Giants. And you know what? That one might be the most interesting and most that might make sense because I think he becomes a free agent after this year. I don't know if he's a restricted or 100% free agent after the year. And the Giants just re-signed Victor Cruz. I don't know if you want to put a ton of money towards 2 wide receivers in this offense. And he has, health concerns with all the injuries he's had in the past. And you know what? He's a very talented guy. And when healthy, I think he is the number 1 wide receiver of the Giants. But I think they can get past him being off the team because you got Ruben, who's been tearing it up this year also. Well, not tearing it up, but he seems like that capable second receiver on the team. So Hakeem Nicks, I would say, is probably the most likely guy to be traded out of all the teams I can think of on top of it. Maybe Atlanta Falcons, 2-5. You never know. Maybe Tony Gonzalez.
No, I'll tell you who's in for Hakeem Nicks right now. At this point, it's probably going to be the Baltimore Ravens. I'm hearing that they're one of the teams that are really looking for a receiver before this trading deadline is over. They're probably looking at a guy like a Hakeem Nicks, a Josh Gordon out of Cleveland.
Maybe my Jets. They should definitely look into Hakeem Nicks. Why not? We're desperate for a playmaker.
And the Jets actually do need somebody healthy at the receiver position, considering the fact that you've got the guy I always rip on.
Santonio Holmes.
Santonio Holmes. I do not feel as if he is a quality receiver right now in the league. And secondly, he just can't stay healthy. He just can't stay healthy. And then you have Stephen Hill at number 2. How has he been doing?
He's been doing okay. He's been up and down this year. He's actually made a lot of progression compared to last year, but he's not that consistent number 2 wide receiver right now that you want. So Hakeem Nicks will be a huge upgrade, even though he has, like I said, his health concerns. But if I'm the Jets or another team, I think he's easily worth a 3rd or 4th round pick. Okay, anything higher than that, I'm a little worried, but 3rd is the highest I will go for Hakeem Nicks. And he becomes a free agent, so you're going to spend money on him. So you got to look long term with this kind of trade.
How about Jared Allen? I'm hearing that the Vikings might trade him, and if they do, they're not asking. They're asking for a minimum a 3rd round pick, and I actually want to look up his age because he might be slightly older. I know he is getting older. He started out with the Chiefs, and now he's with the Vikings. Do you think Jared Allen is a premier pass rusher? Because I'm not sure if you caught the Vikings-Packer game last night on Sunday Night Football, but the rookie, David Bakhtiari, a left tackle, stepped up, and he only allowed Jared Allen 1 hurry on Aaron Rodgers all game long. No sacks, no tackles, just 1 hurry all game long, and he was going up against a rookie left tackle. So is it kind of, are we seeing something where it's kind of the end of the line for Jared Allen at this point in a Minnesota Vikings uniform? Or do they not trade him and hold on to him until, the end of the season at least? I kind of want to look that up real quick. And
he's 31 years old. He's got 4.5 sacks. The man has 6 straight 11-plus sack seasons. Okay, 6 straight. And he's on pace to get, close to 10 this year. I know he hasn't been productive, but that whole defense just hasn't been productive. It's a team, yes, there's great pass rushers like Von Miller and Jared Allen and all these, but they still need their cornerbacks to cover. They still need their other D linemen to help out. It's a team thing. So, yes, sacks is an individual statistic, but, it really is a team effort. So I don't want to get on his sacks too much. Even though he's been down, he has been down this year. But I would take a 3rd rounder. I'm not sure because I'm not sure what his contract is. If he becomes a free agent after this year, or he has another year left on his deal, That means you're going to have to re-sign him. And I don't know if I want to give a 31-year-old big-time money. Now, third-round pick is tough for a 31-year-old pass rusher.
Hey, how about the fact that he said that he hasn't played on a worse defense than he did last night against the Green Bay Packers. He came out and he said that. That probably doesn't sit too well with the guys in your own locker room.
Well, they should agree with him. Plain and simple. This team has been, the defense has, overall, this team has been a huge disappointment in their own minds. So I got no problem with a guy saying something like that. Even if I was a teammate of his. If my team is playing that bad, I might agree with him. But, hey, look at our record. Look how many points we're giving up. Even though our offense is not helping us out too much, but the man tells the truth, and I'm not going to get on him at all. And the teammates shouldn't get on him either. And if they are, you're being a bunch of punks, being a bunch of sissy gals, in my opinion.
And if we're going to throw out some names, how about Larry Fitzgerald?
No, that'd be stupid. That'd be
okay. That would be
idiotic. That would be idiotic by the Arizona Cardinals to trade Larry Fitzgerald. You have a 4-4 record, okay, and he is the only commodity you have on the offensive side of the ball. You don't trade Larry Fitzgerald.
And I think the general manager has actually already come out and said that they want to see Larry Fitzgerald retire as an Arizona Cardinal. So I don't think they're going to move him. I don't know where the trade talks are coming from, and I don't think they will trade him. But I'm going to say it was stupid because I don't think this would happen because it really wouldn't make sense, is somebody mentioned or somebody brought up trading Adrian Peterson for Larry Fitzgerald just straight up. I don't know why that. Are you playing fantasy football? Is that what you're doing? Because in fantasy football, sure, you can entertain that thought. But in real life, when it comes to actually trading,
it does nothing for either team.
No, it doesn't.
Well, it does nothing for either team.
Doesn't make sense.
I don't want to say it does not. It might help out the Cardinals more than the Vikings. I definitely will help out the Cardinals more than the Vikings. But first of all, who wants to trade for a wide receiver? I know Larry Fitzgerald, arguably top 3, easy. Okay, but man has an enormous contract for a wide receiver, over $100 million. All right. So I don't know if anybody really wants to pick up that kind of deal for a wide receiver.
I wish I had $100.
$100? What?
Said I wish I had $100. He's got $100 million.
$100 million. Let me see how much money I got in my wallet. Give me a second.
I got 26 cents just sitting here, man. Hey, anyway, I'm dropping things. Hey, but on a serious note though, I don't think we always hype up the trade deadline every single year, and once it comes up to that point, nobody really gets dealt. Nobody really gets traded.
The hard cap in the NFL just doesn't enable teams to take chances like that. I've seen it more the last couple of years than I've seen it prior to that. Okay, we've been more active in NFL with trading the last 3-4 seasons than I've seen 10 years prior to that. Okay, trades really happen on, in the off season, particularly about, the draft and stuff like that. But when it comes to established veterans, the cap just doesn't really allow it. It just teams are afraid, and you gotta. It's not like basketball or this and that. Well, I don't want to compare it to other sports, but it takes a little longer for these guys to get used to the new offensive system and stuff like that, and teams want to keep that chemistry going heading into a playoffs and making that playoff push.
All right, let's talk about the last guy because you mentioned him earlier. Before we get off the subject of the trade deadline, Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez, we know how long he's been in the league. He starts out Ezra, you gotta say something because
I'm showing you all my singles. I don't know why I didn't go any no particular clubs that singles are necessary.
In case you guys want to know, I've signed Ezra to a $17 contract to the Red Zone Blitz.
Woo! Real cheap over here.
$17 a year, and I gave him his money up front. So
if you got $18, talk to me. I don't have an agent.
No, but on a serious note, look, Tony Gonzalez, we know that he's been here 17 seasons. He started out with the Chiefs. Now he's with the Falcons. He comes back for 1 year, and last year I think he wanted to. He put that percentage out. He's 98, 99% sure that he's not coming back. He comes back, and this is his last year for sure. He's done after this, and the Falcons are 2-5. The Falcons aren't going to go anywhere. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're too injury prone right now, both offensively and defensively. So, does Tony Gonzalez want to be traded? I think him personally, he's going to say no to that. I don't think he's going to want to be traded. The rumors circulating right now on why he's going to be traded is the fact that it would make sense in the fact that he's trying to win a Super Bowl. The reason why he came back is to win a Super Bowl, and he's not going to be able to do that with an injury-riddled Falcons team. Secondly, do you trade Tony Gonzalez as a Falcons organization, just kind of entertaining and see what other GMs would kind of go out and give you? What can you get for a 37, 38-year-old tight end right now?
Take anything. If you can get a fifth rounder, if you're the Falcons, you would jump up and down. Okay, you would jump off the wall. You put on a Spider-Man costume and jump all over with joy. If you get a fifth rounder for a guy that's gonna retire at the end of the year, and I think Tony Gonzalez would sign on if a team that he feels is a Super Bowl contender and he could contribute. Maybe like, let's say the Broncos came calling, or maybe his former team, the 8-0 Chiefs. You know,
hey, that would be a story.
Andy Reid says, "Hey, come on down. We're 8-0. We got a defense. You know, we need another playmaker in this offense to make it legit here."
Hey, who's the starting tight end in Kansas City right now?
Last time I checked, it was a rookie. I don't know. His name was McLeod. I don't know. Remind me of Highlander, the movie that came out in the 80s. I don't know what his name was.
I think they could use a tight end.
They could use a tight end, all right? And I think, like I said, if the Patriots always seem like they pick up that savvy veteran type of dude. And and Tony Gonzalez knows, they ran a very successful two tight end system over there. So you never know. I think Tony would listen if the right team came calling.
Yeah, and I'm gonna agree, but you have to remember this is gonna be a half-season rental, and possibly and into the playoffs. It's not gonna be a 1-year deal, or it's not gonna be. This is it for Tony. So
that's what I'm saying. If you can get a fifth rounder, you're going all out with joy. If you're a GM of the Falcons, I don't see anything higher than that. If I see a fifth rounder, I'm shocked. Personally, I'm shocked. But if you can get that, that's just anything higher than that. That's just absolutely yes. There you boom. Sorry, Tony. I know you wanted to stay with, but see you later.
And I don't want to kind of curve this on a tangent real quick, but interning with ESPN has kind of just sitting there and listening to people talking over the radio. Some of the things you hear is fascinating. I've heard of 3 trades that never happened for the Green Bay Packers that were lined up and ready to go, but never happened. One of them being with Tony Gonzalez before they dealt him to the Falcons. The Packers had I believe it was a 4th-round pick lined up, ready to go, and the deal was ready to get done, and the Chiefs said, no, you know what, we've changed our minds. We want a 3rd-round pick. And the Packers pretty much told him to take a hike. So Tony Gonzalez could have been a Packer. That didn't happen. Another guy that could have been a Packer, Randy Moss. When Brett Favre was still around, he was really, he wanted Moss to come to Green Bay. The Packers had a 5th-round pick on the table ready to go to the Oakland Raiders, and they were going to take it until the Patriots swoop in and give him a 4th-rounder to snag Randy Moss. And you see the Tom Brady and Randy Moss connection there in their undefeated season where they went on to lose the Super Bowl. And the third one, before we get off topic here, Eric Dickerson. Eric Dickerson could have been a Green Bay Packer. Everything was ready to go, and he failed his physical. So the things that you hear when you intern at ESPN is pretty awesome. I didn't hear about any of these. I knew about the Moss thing, but I didn't necessarily know that the details. But yeah, those are some of the draft, the trade deadline talks that never really happened. So
yeah, I think every fan can come up with stuff. I don't know about trades per se. I just remember draft picks. We should have drafted Dan Marino in that 84 draft, or is it 83 draft? Warren Sapp. I remember when we had the first overall pick and we picked Keyshawn Johnson, a lot of experts were predicting Peyton Manning was going to come out. And my Jets, were in position to draft him and wanted him, but he decided to stay one more year at Tennessee, and, the rest is history. So out of all of them, you know which one I want. I wish Peyton Manning came out earlier, but the Jets were such a joke back then. Peyton Manning must have said, nope, I'm not playing for that team, and went back to school.
How many times do we saw with his brother, who was actually, and I don't know if too many people remember this at this point, as time goes on here.
Said no to the Chargers.
He said no to the Chargers. The Chargers draft him with the first overall pick, and what happens is the Giants with the 4th overall pick drafts Phillip Rivers, and then they just swap quarterbacks. So I don't know exactly, how that worked out, but it worked out, I guess, for both teams. It worked out a lot better for the Giants.
I think they also got out of that deal. They were able to. The Chargers were able to draft. Was it Sean Marion? Lights out. I think it was Sean Marion, lights out, and Luis Castillo. I remember. What's his first name? Luis.
Yeah.
I remember the defensive tackle. So that worked out well for the Chargers. Yes, that worked out well for the Chargers. Mm-hmm.
All right. Everyone watching, you guys are on YouTube. Throw your comments down on some of the guys that you guys think will be traded by tomorrow's trade deadline. We will check up on those comments in a little bit. We were going to transition here into Brandon Merriweather.
Before I get on that, idiot, I'm not sure. Though I said Castillo and Sean Marion. Maybe was that the Michael Vick trade? Oh,
Michael Vick trade involved LaDainian Tomlinson, I believe.
Yeah, but that was with the Chargers also. So maybe that was a trade those guys got drafted. I don't know, but I don't want to say with confidence it was the Eli one. But I remember that big trade with LT and Michael Vick.
And you know who the Chargers took in the second round?
Second round, first pick, Drew Brees. And I remember that day, and my memory's pretty bad. I told my best friend who's been on a couple videos on Idiot Sports Talk with me. I told him, I said, Drew Brees, I said it that day, will have a better career than Michael Vick. I didn't think he was going to become a future Hall of Famer that he will become and become this great star. Never thought all that. But I was very confident that Drew Brees was going to have a better career than Michael Vick. And Michael Vick, all the hype he came in with into the draft and all his talent and all that good stuff.
Yeah, the most recent draft day prediction that I've made that actually happened was A.J. Green and Andy Dalton. And you never know what's going to happen on draft day. You never know who's going to trade up and who's going to draft who. But I said in the first round, A.J. Green's going to the Bengals. And in the second round, I think Andy Dalton's going to be available, and that's who they're going to take. They're going to need a quarterback to replace Carson Palmer at that point, and that's exactly what happened. So that's my recent one. But I want to talk about Brandon Merriweather. There's so many different avenues that you can channel off this guy because he's, like you said, he's a jerk. He's a punk. I'm going to read some comments from this guy because he's not exactly my favorite person in the world at this point. Brandon Merriweather, suspended by the league for 1 game. It was going to be 2. I think they reduced it to 1 for his helmet-to-helmet hits. You know how the league is trying to cut down on concussions, the safety of the players. When it comes to tackling, you want to tackle not too high, not too low, probably around the waist. Brandon Merriweather is a headhunter. No doubt about it. He's probably one of the dirtiest players in the league. And now he comes out and he makes comments on how he's going to tackle. I'm gonna read some of these here. There's a lot of them, but let's see. I guess I just have to take people's knees out, is what he said. That's the only way I would hate to end a guy's career over a rule, but I guess it's better other people than me getting suspended for longer. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what he said. You're just going to have to go low now. You've got to end people's careers. You've got to tear people's ACLs and mess up people's knees. You can't hit them high anymore. Meaning, I'm not going to hit him helmet to helmet. I'm not going to give him concussions. And don't forget, he knocked himself out a couple weeks ago against the Packers on a helmet to helmet hit. I'm going to start going low and tearing ACLs and busting people's knees out. Why can't you just go towards the middle? Why can't you actually just hit somebody around their waist and tackle fundamentally how they're supposed to? It doesn't make sense to me. If it was me and I was the general manager or sorry, the commissioner, I'm suspending this guy for the rest of the season.
To play devil advocate here, and one, you're going a little too far to suspend him for the rest of the season just for his comments. He said, "I guess," and his comments is in the context of he's tired of getting, even though he did it to himself, suspended, and they feel like he feels like the league is coming after him personally and trying to make an example of him, which they should. But he feels personalized here in all these fines and stuff like that. He's just frustrated that I'm going up high and now I should just go down low and take out like he's saying, take out guys' ACLs instead of going up high. Which, like I said before, these guys been playing like this forever, and all of a sudden the NFL wants to come up with these rules. It's hard for some of these guys just to change the fabric of their style of play that they've been playing for 10, 15 years in one or two seasons.
Yeah, but these are fundamentals that are taught at a young age. If you teach a player how to tackle like he's supposed to tackle in Pee Wee, and then he goes up into middle school and high school and college, if he's taught the right way, he shouldn't have that problem at the professional level.
That sounds nice and all that, yeah, if he gets taught the fundamentals. No, colleges, high schools, go up high, knock the ball out of him. You'll act like coaches are sweethearts, okay? Stop it, David. I don't know if you played sports or not. I haven't, okay? But I know these guys aren't sweethearts. These guys are high school coaches, college coaches, are always trying to get to the next level too. So they're going to have their guys be super aggressive, play that rough football, because these coaches are trying to be successful themselves. These guys are not sweethearts. I hate when management acts like they're not part of the problem either. They are.
But is he not the exception in this case? Is he not the guy who's doing it the most out of anybody else in the league? Because to me, he's the only guy. He's the anomaly in this case. He's the guy who's doing it the most, and he's being singled out for it. And for what I said earlier about suspending him for the rest of the year, he should be made. Roger Goodell should make this guy. He should single him out. Is what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to put my words together right now. If you're trying to crack down on concussions, if you're trying to implement player safety, make an example out of this guy. Seriously, because the amount of helmet-to-helmet hits he's been putting on players is ridiculous. And don't suspend him for the comments he made. That's not what I was saying. Suspend him for his prior history, because the amount of times he's been fined and now he's being suspended, there's too much. There's too many times where he's done it to the point where, why are you sitting here and even letting this guy play in your league? Just get rid of him. And if you want to get rid of him for a year, that's fine. Do that. And if he comes back and he keeps doing it,
it's not justified just yet. Sorry, Dave.
Let him go to the CFL.
If he does it again, maybe I might jump on board, but not right now. Even though I think this guy's a former Patriot, so I got an extra hate for him, and I think he's an idiot. But he's pissed off, and he's not only pissed off about being fined and stuff like that, which is his own fault, but he's upset. You probably heard these comments too that he made towards Brandon Marshall and other guys, saying that he should be out of the league. And you know what? I got no problem, and I got no problem with what he said about Brandon Marshall, because let me see if I can get the direct.
I have it.
I have the Marshall comments here. I respect the league for trying to better our game, Marshall said after the game. Quote, guys like that, maybe he needs to get suspended or taken out of the game completely, unquote. And Mayweather, okay, Merriweather, excuse me, apologize, sorry.
This isn't Floyd.
I know this is not Floyd. This is not Money Floyd, okay, I apologize. Don't kill me. He's quoted in saying, If he feels like I need to be kicked out the league, I feel like people who beat their girlfriends, who Brandon Marshall has been arrested for quite a few times,
That's cold, man.
who beat their girlfriends should be kicked out of the league too. You tell me who you'd rather have. Someone who plays aggressive on the field or someone who beats up their girlfriend.
Well, let me tell you what. What happens behind closed doors, we don't necessarily know. I'm gonna comment on what I'm seeing out on the field. If you want to beat your girlfriend, crack a bottle over her head, I didn't see it. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. Were you there, Ezra?
I'm not saying what he did was it's factual. I don't think he's ever been charged with
No,
domestic violence or
he
anything.
has,
I know he's been
not.
arrested a couple times for it. Okay, so you're right. We don't have all the facts. All right. All I'm saying is I have no problem with the comments he made. If someone's gonna threaten your livelihood, and I know Merriweather is doing the same thing by going after guys' heads, and he could potentially hurt them and paralyze them and stuff like that. I understand his comments, so it doesn't really bother me what he said. At the same time, I understand Marshall. I understand both sides of this dilemma. But either way, Brandon needs to man up and start getting his tackles, like you said, the fundamentals, before he loses his career, before he is suspended for a whole year and all that good stuff.
I think fans are lucky that they don't have a commissioner like me.
Yeah, because you're a jerk. It seems like it already.
I would have already suspended Merriweather for just the rest of the year. I'd be like, you know what, dude? Honestly, you're a headache. You've done this more than once, more than twice, and more than 3 times. We find you on multiple occasions. We're suspended. Why don't you just? I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Brandon Merriweather, just get out. Just leave. Like, seriously, it's getting to that point where if you wanna, and you know what? A thought came to my head. You know why they're not suspending him for the entire season? Think about this. Because why wouldn't you keep finding players and just keep getting money? Because is that not how the NFL operates?
No, the fines that I'm aware of, anytime a player gets fined, the NFL does not keep it, David. They actually give it to charity.
Okay, that's good.
So you know what?
That's
Brandon, you know how much charity he's been giving away? So he's doing some good with his dirty play. Let's look at the positive here.
Yeah, let's
Maybe
knock
he's
out
fed a
dudes
lot
on
of
the
homeless
field.
People. He's given a lot of shelter. You don't know what he's done. Maybe he's researched for diabetes. Okay? Brandon has done some good with all these concussions.
Brandon's a bum.
Yeah, he is. He really is a bum. That's one thing we agree on here.
We asked you guys earlier on your thoughts for the trade deadline tomorrow. Throw down your comments on who you guys think will be dealt, who will be traded, who won't be traded. You guys think, big names like Larry Fitzgerald, Jared Allen, Hakeem Nicks, do you guys think those guys will be traded, will not be traded? And also, throwing this in here, you guys, tonight's Red Zone Blitz is brought to you by FanDuel.com. Join a one-day league for real money. League winners will get their money instantly the next. I can't read, Ezra. I can't read. I'm restarting. Here we go. League winners get their money instantly, and a new season begins the next day. It's FanDuel.com. You must be 18 years or older to gamble, and I got links down in the bottom. Click on that if you guys want to check that out. Now, I'm going to go to the comments. I'm going to check those out, see what you guys think about the trade deadline tomorrow. I'm interested to see if anything happens. I don't know if it will, because it's, like we said again, it's usually hyped up and nobody really gets dealt. We got a lot of comments. Ezra, we got a lot of comments. We got a bunch of comments. You ready?
Hey, do what you got to do. Hopefully they're saying good things about me, because I like hearing good things.
Willify says he thinks Hakeem Nicks will get traded. He thinks Josh Gordon of the Cleveland Browns gets traded. As to my comments about Santonio Holmes to the Jets, he just doesn't think he's good anymore. And Stephen Hill, says Stephen Hill's pure crap. I think you should defend your guy here real quick.
Can't really defend him because Stephen Hill is kind of crap. So he's progressed. He's progressed from really, 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 really nasty crap to just crap. That's progression, though, right? But he's still crap. But he's showing progression. If that makes any sense.
You know, what do you think about Jordan Cameron?
He misses Hoyer a lot. Okay, so does my fantasy team. I need Hoyer to come back, even though he's out for the year, because Jordan Cameron, when he had that quarterback, he was putting up crazy numbers. He's a very talented guy, and the Browns, you know, don't have to look for a tight end for years to come. This guy's going to be a stud once they have an established quarterback throwing him the ball. Who would that be? Who will that be? Matt Flynn next year, maybe.
Matt Flynn is done.
Matt Flynn might get another big contract.
No, Matt Flynn is done. Look, don't even bring Matt Flynn up anymore.
I'm just saying, some guys always get these contracts off. I have no idea.
He's done. He got that contract already. He got it from the Seahawks. He
got 2 big contracts already.
So no, he's done. When you've got Russell starting over you, and then you get Terrell Pryor starting over you, they put you in for one game, and you can't.
Speaking about that, the Raiders beat the Steelers yesterday. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. And Terrell Pryor was. We have a Terrell
record-setting.
What do you think about that run? I just saw it. I don't know who asked it. I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, Rios.
Andre Rios.
Did you see? Yes, I saw. He called him TP, and for a while I was reading the comment like, "Who's TP? Is he calling someone?" Then I realized record-setting run. Okay, TP. Okay, all right. Terrell Pryor. Was it 94 yards? I believe.
93.
94 yards.
93.
93. It's the longest run. Okay.
In Raiders history, man.
Raiders history and in QB history. Think about that. Bo Jackson never did that. Hall of Famer. Never did that. All right? TP did it. Now you're going to have me calling him TP. So thanks, Rios. The guy, you know, he's super talented. He needs to be consistent as a passer. Same thing Michael Vick had as a problem with the Falcons. A lot of these guys that are run-first type quarterbacks have that arm accuracy decision problem. So, but great effort by the Raiders yesterday. They came, even though the Steelers, you know, they don't have the best of records in the league, they're still a very good defensive team, and the Raiders are not a complete joke as I thought they were going to be. It's just the Jaguars are a complete joke. That's it. It's the only complete joke in the league.
And I was actually just thinking to myself earlier today, the AFC West and the NFC West are actually looking pretty decent compared to what I thought they were going. You think of the NFC West, you're thinking, you know, Seahawks and Niners, but you know the Cardinals and the Rams are kind of hanging on at this point. Same with the AFC West. You got the Chargers, who are doing pretty decent. I think they have more wins than losses. The Raiders are, you know, somewhere near 500. And then, of course, you got the Broncos, who are considered to be the best AFC team, or maybe the NFL team. But then you got the undefeated Chiefs. So I like the AFC West right now at this point. And Terrell Pryor is somewhat of a gem. And don't forget this.
I won't say gem. I won't go that far.
No.
He's been very surprising this year. He's played well. But gem, I don't know about all that. The Raiders should still look at a QB in the draft next year. Okay?
We'll see. But he was Al Davis's last draft selection before he passed away. Terrell Pryor was that guy. So, hey, maybe Al Davis saw something in him, and he was just the last kind of...
Al Davis saw a lot of something in people in the last... You know, I don't want to get on Al Davis.
Darius Hayward-Bay.
Because before the last 10 years, Al Davis did a magnificent job with the Raiders, and that's why they have a huge fan base. All right? So I don't want to get on Al Davis, but he saw a lot of things in people that no one else saw. That's what made him successful, and that's what made him a huge failure the last 10 years also.
Going through more questions.
You talk about the NFC West for a moment.
Go ahead.
At a halfway point of the season, the team I was high on, the Cardinals, has a better record than your team that you were high on, the Rams.
Hey, you know what? Let's get into that conversation because
and I'm just letting you know, the Cardinals are going to end up with a better record because Sam Bradford's done for the year. So you're done for.
yeah, when it comes to that comparison, yeah, and don't forget about your Browns. But
oh yeah, well, Will just brought up a great point. He said the Buccaneers are a complete joke, also.
well, yeah, I don't even want to get on the subject of Tampa Bay. I think after this year, Greg Schiano's gone as the head coach there, but as one of those wild card picks, you're just kind of like, who's a team that kind of could emerge? Because you kind of look at some of the moves they made, and this backs up your point talking about off-season champions don't necessarily mean you're going to win the season. You bring in Darrelle Revis, you bring in Deshaun Golson. Now your defense looks solid. You think maybe Josh Freeman has a spark left in him to do something this year? And we kind of just seen what happened. They haven't won a game. Josh Freeman is now in Minnesota. Greg Schiano's kind of a mess, and there's talk about him losing the locker room. We both picked that team to possibly win a wild card spot, and that was a bad pick on both of our parts. So, as for the Rams and the Cardinals, I think you're going to win that one, man. I think you're going to win that one. I'm looking through more comments here. We talking about trade deadlines, guys. Trade deadline. Who gets dealt tomorrow? Who doesn't get dealt? Throw some names out there. That's going to be the topic tonight, the main topic of the show. But we will continue to take other comments and other questions. Going to what we usually do at times is go through the what's it called, Ezra?
Oh, sorry, I was reading comments. I see these guys are going after each other. I'm gonna read a joke real quick. Say, why are the Raiders fan group called the Black Hole? Because they suck. Even though it wasn't a very well told joke, but I don't know. I still found it funny because these guys are going after each other right now. I apologize.
What I was going to say is we like to go through the Jeez, I cannot believe I just lost the power rankings for ESPN, but since it's Monday night, they don't have those out. I think they have those out every Tuesday. And we like to go through those and you know, kind of see who's where and talk about that, but we can't do that tonight. So I'm going to go to ESPN.com, see if we can pull something else up as a topic before we get to more questions and comments.
What are you, a transformer? What the hell is shroom? What's his name? Not Busy Bee.
Oh, I got one. I don't know. Listen here, Megatron. How about Case Keenum?
Speaking about Megatron, 329 yards in one game.
You want to talk about Case Keenum, or do you want to talk about Megatron? Which one are we talking about here?
I want to talk about Megatron for a moment because I want to know,
does
he, in that one game, does he have more career yards than Charles Rogers, the former second overall pick by the Detroit Lions? I'm gonna Google that just for the hell of it.
Google it for me because Matt Millen is an idiot, and if for those of you who don't know who Matt Millen is,
you should be happy for that.
Why? I know because they're in the NFC North. I understand that, but the fact is, when you're the general manager of an NFL team.
Oh man! In 3 years, he had 440 yards.
Yeah, you were close.
So I was close. Damn.
But no, listen, man. Matt Millen drafts 3 receivers in 3 straight years, and he passes over. I think he went with Charles Rogers over Andre Johnson, who happened to be the next pick for the Houston Texans. That's embarrassing. Matt Millen is no longer GM. I think he's on ESPN at times as an analyst, which I don't even think he's credible enough to be that. But
isn't he a Hall of Famer as a player?
I don't care what he is. He cannot manage a team. And was he not responsible for the Lions going 0-16?
Wasn't he responsible for drafting Megatron? Yes.
When did they draft Megatron? What year was that?
I think he was responsible for drafting Megatron.
That's fine. Okay, so you're telling me drafting one player
I'm
is
not
going to
saying he's
make
not
up
a
for
terrible.
all the
I'm not saying
garbage?
he is a terrible president. I agree with you. I just want to shine some light, okay, on his one
There is no
positive.
light to shine. There is no
Okay,
light to shine on Matt Millen.
Megatron is a light that needs to be shined right. Oh, that's how that rhymed there. You like that? There you go. Yes, and Matt Millen's the reason why. So, Detroit fans, even though you hate Matt Millen, and you should, but Megatron is there because of him. So think about this. If they didn't suck for so many years, you would not have Megatron today.
For those of you guys who watched that Lions and Cowboys game, I was just sitting here, casually just eating my lunch and watching some football, just relaxing, waiting for my Sunday night game with the Packers. And I'm like, you know what, the Lions are on. They're an NFC North rival. I got to watch them. I got to see what they're going to do. And the Cowboys, last minute of the game, they're up 30-24, and Matthew Stafford mounts that comeback. Last minute, no timeouts, gets a couple big plays from Chris Durham and Calvin Johnson. They're down at the 1-yard line. He's telling his entire offense that he's going to spike the ball. He does not. He jumps over the line, gets the touchdown, wins the game 31-30. That game was awesome. I haven't seen an exciting game and an exciting finish to a game in quite a bit of time. So that was an exciting game for me to watch, and you know what? I'm glad I watched it.
And guess what? I hopefully that taught you something too, David. Okay.
What did that teach me? About Tony Romo?
No, yeah, it teaches you about Tony Romo. That this team is not just Tony Romo the reason why this team loses. Did he throw a pick?
You do not.
I even tweet. It's disgusting how you lose. You give up 329 yards to one wide receiver. Okay, that's disgusting in itself.
That's the secondary's fault.
Exactly. That's not Tony Romo's. That's exactly my point.
I never said it was Tony Romo.
I know you're not saying that. I just want to say
I understand.
If this team performs in clutch, you know what I did? I think it was 1 minute and 32 seconds, right? I think the Cowboys just made, excuse me, Detroit just punted it to the Cowboys. I guess Detroit, blah, blah, blah. I got the ball back. Obviously, they got the ball back. And you know what? I wrote a tweet, a Facebook comment. I think it was like this. Cowboys defense, closeout game. Tony Romo the quarterback doesn't throw an interception. Is this the 1990s Cowboys I'm watching? I'm thinking the game is over. I switch over to my Jets, okay? And, guess what? 3 minutes later, people are hitting up my Facebook, my Twitter, talking about, whoa, buddy, you're a little too early on this, such and such. And then someone tweets me, the Lions are up by 1. The Cowboys, as a team, cannot close stuff out. They had this game locked down. They have this division locked down, but they don't know how to close it.
Let me give you two different things here.
Unbelievable.
Two different topics. First of all, since 2011, teams that have had a -4 turnover margin in one game, because the Lions turned the ball over 4 times, the Cowboys did not turn the ball over at all that entire game, are 1-55. Are 1-55 since 2011 when they're -4 in turnovers. Well, now it's 2-55 because the Lions came back and won that game, and I think that was just an awesome statistic to throw out there for that game. And secondly, for this whole Tony Romo argument that me and you will just go back and forth on probably forever, I think Tony Romo is a very good kid. Probably a top 10 quarterback when it comes to playing in the regular season.
I know, probably. He is a top 10 quarterback.
He's on that borderline.
Quarterback, okay?
8, 9, 10, 11, 12 range. He's somewhere in there. The point is this. Listen, the reason why I hate on Tony Romo so much is the last 2 games of the season, and that is it. Because the Dallas Cowboys are always, for the last 4 or 5 years, what's the record? In Week 16, what's the record? 8-6. If the Cowboys win the next 2 games, they'll make the playoffs because that's just how the NFC East is. You have to have a 10-6 record to win. You're not going to see a 12-4 or 13-3 team come out of that division.
The Giants won a Super Bowl with a 9-7 record. Okay?
That is exactly my point.
I'm just saying, though.
Tony Romo cannot win Week 16 and Week 17 games. That is my entire point on Tony Romo.
The Cowboys can't. It's the Cowboys. Not Romo can't win Week 16 and 17. The Cowboys can't win 16 and 17. Okay?
Romo.
Cowboys.
I'm going to keep saying Romo. Keep saying Romo. It comes down to those critical interceptions that he throws.
16 and 17 won't be as critical. Won't be as critical if the Cowboys win yesterday.
Yeah,
right?
It
won't matter as much if they close the deal. Am I right? Will Week 16 matter if they got the division wrapped up? When the Giants are 2-6, while the Eagles' offense is still grounded, while the Redskins are crap? You take advantage when you have it, and the Cowboys cannot. Jason Garrett needs to go. All right?
Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones needs to go.
You can forget about that, Cowboys fans, because Jerry Jones is not going anywhere unless he has, God forbid, a stroke or death. That's it. Death is the only way out of this. So moving forward, you have to think about the alternatives. Head coach. That guy needs to go. He needs to go. And if I have a suggestion, Jay Gruden. Okay? That's my suggestion to you, Jerry, if you're watching the Red Zone Blitz. And if you're not, you're an idiot.
Oh, man. That is why I love doing the Red Zone Blitz with Ezra, man. You bring that extra spice. Because Jerry Jones, the probability of him watching the Red Zone Blitz is like the probability of the Cowboys going to a Super Bowl in the next 10 years. Not likely. Not likely.
With Tony Romo?
Not likely.
It's a 15% chance. Hey, it is what it is. Nick had a question over here. Okay.
All right, let's take it. Let's go. Let's see it.
Well, he had multiple questions, but he asks, are the Rams that good, or the Seahawks offense struggling?
I wouldn't say struggling. If he's referring to tonight's game, I wouldn't say struggling. I just don't think they're a high-powered offense. I think they're more of a run the ball with Marshawn Lynch and then manage the offense with Russell Wilson. He's a game manager. He's not gonna do too much. And one key point in that is when he scrambles out of the pocket, when he's trying to gain yards on his feet, he's not going to be RG3. He's not going to fight for the extra yard and then risk injury. He's going to run right out of bounds.
Don't disrespect Russell Wilson.
No, I'm not.
He's better than RG3.
Listen. I'm not disrespecting the guy at all. What I'm saying is, he's not going to fight for yards to risk injury like RG3. When he scrambles out of the pocket, he needs to make a play. If he knows where the sticks are, he's gonna run to the first down. He's gonna pick up as many yards as he can, and when he sees the defenders, starting to come in, he's just gonna run out of bounds. Why should I risk myself being hurt, and risk putting in our backup?
Why risk those Madden commercials? I understand what you're saying here. It's not a dynamic offense, and let's not forget the Rams have a pretty good defense. So I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
Not that the Seahawks offense is struggling. It's just not designed to score 40, 50. I know they had that run last year. Towards the end of the last year, they scored, how many games straight with 50 points or 40-plus points? It was something ridiculous. But this team is control the ball, time of possession, let the defense do its thing. And when Russell Wilson needs to make something happen, he can do it. That's what makes him have that special it when it comes to a QB. But this offense doesn't scare anybody. And the Rams' defense is pretty good. It's just their offense, doesn't give them any time to rest.
I'm curious to see what happens when Percy Harvin comes back. What do they do? How do they implement him into their offense? Do they just strictly place him out at wide receiver? Do they play more in the slot? Do they have him on some running plays? Because you already know he's more of a versatile player. He can do a lot of things on the offense. That's why they brought him in. That's why they gave up a first-round pick to bring him to Seattle. So Percy Harvin, he's going to be healthy. He's going to be ready to go in the next week or two. Originally, at the beginning of the season, I can't remember what his injury was, but they said he's going to be out for the entire season. Now that's not the case. It's going to be week 9, week 10, week 11, somewhere in that range where we see Percy Harvin come back. Now you got Percy Harvin, you've got Doug Baldwin, Sidney Rice, Golden Tate. That makes up a pretty decent to pretty good receiving core, probably better than a lot of other teams have. We can see Russell Wilson do his thing. And then don't forget about Marshawn Lynch and some of the other guys, Christian Michael, that they have at running back. So I don't want to say they're dynamic. I don't want to say they're a high-powered offense, because if they were, they'd be able to put up points, and I think they'd be hands down the best team in the league with the defense that they have. But they're not that right now. On offense, they're not that team. They're probably only going to put up 21 to 22, 23 points a game and then shut you out on defense. So
Seahawks.
That would be an awesome game to watch.
That would be a low-scoring game to watch. And they mirror each other.
They do.
The best playmaker out of that whole group.
That's hard. I don't know how you're gonna come.
Jamal Charles. I'm just saying. That's just me.
You think so?
I don't think so. I know so. Okay, and that'll be my man. Okay, that man has done wonderful things for me in fantasy football. If there's any bearing on this conversation.
I think my pick was after your pick in our league, and I had the button sitting on Jamal Charles, just waiting on your pick. I'm like, nah, he's not going to take Jamal Charles.
I took Jamal Charles in every single fantasy league.
Because I have him in my other league too, and I was waiting
to take him.
And
I wasn't in that league because I would have picked him up.
So
that's what I do.
Let's go to the comments, Ezra. Let's go to the comments. No one wants to hear about our crappy fantasy football team.
Yeah, I lost this week, man. It's terrible.
Nick Ray, real quick on Marshawn Lynch, 23 yards today, 4 yards receiving. That's not good.
Will just said a zombie apocalypse is more likely than Percy Harvin to stay healthy during the season. Now, this is off topic. If you had to pick one weapon in a zombie apocalypse, what would it be, David? Come on, any fantasy weapon. If you from a video game or something, what would it be?
I don't know. I'm here to talk about football.
Well,
as much as I like zombies, I watch The Walking Dead. I'll do my thing, You
don't think about this kind of stuff?
I do, but I'm not in that mindset.
If you do, you would know what kind of weapon, okay?
I haven't thought about that. I'm sorry. I apologize.
You suck.
Here's a good question. Is Chip Kelly the most overhyped college coach, I'm assuming, to enter the NFL to coach a team? This comes from Andre Rios.
I'm going to say no, because every time a big college coach comes into the NFL, they get a lot of hype. Nick Saban, remember? Steve Spurrier with the Redskins. Oh, man, everybody was getting on their knees giving that guy, they were all over him, Steve Spurrier. And it just follows the trend. I'm not saying Chip Kelly's not going to develop into a very good NFL head coach. Am I going to lean towards that way? No. Because I'm one of those believers in college coaches just does not translate to the NFL, and I think kind of vice versa too. I think it's a little smoother for NFL coaches to get into college coaching, but it's just not the same. It's just a different mentality, a different way you manage the game and the players. People don't understand. I think it's a lot more than just X and O's when it comes to football. You got to manage the players, and if you're treating a guy that makes millions of dollars, a 32-year-old man with a family, like he's an 18-year-old freshman in college, and like he has no responsibilities, and he makes more money than you, it doesn't go very far, right, Greg Schiano? Huh? I think that's his problem out there. It's just, I'm not saying Chip Kelly's having the same problems, but I'm not a big believer in college coaches coming into the NFL.
I think,
and he's not the most overhyped either.
No, I think he is. How many teams were after him? First of all, this offseason, Cleveland, Buffalo, Philadelphia. I think there was another team. There was a lot of Jacksonville. If This is stupid. Okay. This guy comes into the league first week in the NFL. The Eagles' offense, you see them lining up all these crazy formations, all these college formations. Everyone's scratching their head. They're looking, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. The Eagles are going to win the NFC East. The Eagles are just going to destroy everybody. Chip Kelly is Philadelphia's savior. He's going to just destroy everybody. Well,
they destroyed themselves.
That hasn't happened.
They got tired at the end of that game, week 1, even though they looked marvelous.
Chip Kelly was the one who formulated all those, the game plan, the formations, all that stuff. That's Chip Kelly. And after week 1, when they won that game, I want to say it was against the Redskins, but I can't remember. Everyone was talking about, is this the future of the NFL when it comes to play calling and making different kinds of plays? When you have offensive linemen lined up at wide receiver, and you have 2 receivers lined up behind him, this is not the future of the NFL. I'm sorry. Chip Kelly was overhyped coming into this season. He had too many suitors. His name got thrown out there. He's the next big thing to come into the NFL. We see him in week 1 with all these plays. They hype him up even more, and now what are they sitting at? 2-5? Something like that. Chip Kelly's probably been one of the more overhyped college coaches to enter the NFL in probably a good, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. When was the last time you heard anybody get this much hype coming into the NFL from college? I really can't put my finger on one guy. So I'm going to say,
well, if you talk about the last 5 years, I can't think of any of the last 5 years.
Steve Carroll?
But like I said, Steve, well, he was a former NFL coach, so can't count him.
Yeah,
really.
You're right. You're right.
You know, he was with the Patriots years ago. But Steve Spurrier, maybe you was a young little pup, okay, David, when he came into the league. But Steve Spurrier came in with some stupid hype. He got a 5-year, $25 million deal, and back then that was huge money for a head coach. I think he was the highest paid head coach in the NFL when he came into the league. So, and Nick Saban, you know, another guy. Didn't he have like personnel control too with the Dolphins or something? Nick Saban was it Bobby Petrino? What's his name? Bobby something, that quitter with the Falcons who left in the middle of the season like a
I can't remember his name.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell his name is. No, that's a punk. He quit on like 18 college teams too. I don't care. You know, I don't care for college. I don't care for NCAA. And you know what? Their coaches, screw them too. I don't care.
We got off subject because we hit on Megatron and the Lions. Case Keenum is starting over Matt Schaub in Houston, and I think this is very interesting. I think Case Keenum is a guy who could possibly be a starter in the NFL on a regular basis, not just one start, because he's already done that last week, and he actually didn't look too bad against the Chiefs, who are still undefeated. Case Keenum is starting over a healthy, you have to put that in there, a healthy Matt Schaub. I think a couple questions need to be asked here. Do they ride out Case Keenum for the rest of the season? If so, do they keep that trend going into next year? And then do they trade Matt Schaub? Because if you're going to bench Matt Schaub, who I think can still be a starter in the NFL, you're going to have to trade him. You're going to have to get rid of him, because I don't think he's going to want to sit on the bench for Case Keenum.
Case Keenum, riding him out for the rest of the season, I think that depends on what happens this week. But the 2-5, huge disappointments, okay, so far. And maybe they're hoping he can provide that spark, get that offense going, and get the season back on track. Matt Schaub, I don't see him getting traded. You just don't see that happening with mid-30s QBs making big money. I think if he is not the future, he'll be released in the offseason. And you keep and you don't want to trade him right now, okay? Because let's say they do get on roll and they start winning games, and you never know. And let's say Case Keenum gets hurt towards the end of the year, and they still have that veteran presence they've won a lot of games with and with Matt. So I think they want that security blanket. And, I imagine they're not set in stone with Case Keenum just yet. So, no, I don't see that happening. But I think it's going to be a week-by-week case when it comes to the Houston Texans now.
I asked Alex Patakis this, who I've been doing like 20 to 30-minute segments, who's at ESPN Milwaukee. I asked him, guys like Case Keenum, who put up just absolutely video game numbers in college, which in his last season I believe he threw for 48 touchdowns and 5 interceptions at the University of Houston. That's nuts. Why don't these guys get drafted? Because Case Keenum went undrafted. He was an undrafted free agent who signed with the Texans. I don't know if you can really answer that question except for the fact that, it comes down to intangibles and measurables and all that stuff.
What school did he play for?
University of Houston. U of H.
So that doesn't sound like a big college program.
It really depends on a lot of stuff. Injury history, I don't think he has one.
What conference is that in, do you know?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Well, I was going to say, plain and simple, I just think a lot of these execs, presidents, GMs, just don't respect, small college conferences or small colleges,
We'll see occasionally. We'll see occasionally every once in a while a guy get picked from
Well, that's
D2.
if a guy's talent is just out of this world, plain and simple. Like, it's just some guys is just wow. And the combine, a guy could be projected 4th round pick, but if he has a huge combine, he could skyrocket to the 2nd, 1st round because of his athletic ability. So if a guy doesn't have that huge athletic ability, small school, it works against him. So that's what I think when it comes to guys like that. That's why I was asking what school or what conference he was in. I think that takes a lot. I think that takes into the evaluation.
Well, it does, but I don't know if it should take a chunk. I don't know if it. The reason why players who are in D2 and D3 who get overlooked is because it's automatically assumed that they're playing guys who just aren't as good as players who are in D1. Meaning they're not playing the talent that if you put them in a D1 school, in a D1 offense against a D1 defense, what are they going to do? Are they going to be able to put up, over 5,000 yards a season, throw for 48 touchdowns and 5 interceptions? So I guess that goes into one part of evaluating a player like Case Keenum who went undrafted, but right now he's starting for the Houston Texans. So you really, if it was me, he's probably at this point you can probably say he's worthy of at least a 7th round pick, meaning at least he should have been drafted. But I don't know. We'll see. That's just kind of my thing on him, and it's kind of unfortunate that Matt Schaub is on the bench. But you throw 4 consecutive pick sixes in the last 4 games that you played, maybe you should sit down on the bench for a second. Gonna keep rolling these out here. Ezra, do me a favor and refresh yours. I don't know if we're getting. Let me see real quick. I hate when it does this.
The first pick was from the MAC. Well, he's talking about the left tackle.
Yeah, out of Central Michigan.
Eric Fisher.
Yeah, Eric Fisher out of Central Michigan. So
like I said, hey, big time. Like I said, there's exceptions. There's always exceptions to the rule. You know what I'm saying? When you have big time talent, which Eric Fisher has, and he killed it at the combine. See here, you can skyrocket because a lot of people didn't believe he was going to become the 1st round pick, right? I mean, the 1st overall pick. So
I think Luke Joeckel was kind of disappointed. He was ready to go to Kansas City, and he ended up going to Jacksonville.
And right now, Eric, he's doing okay. He's not playing up to that 1st overall big standard, even though that takes time.
Joeckel's on IR, by the way. I think he tore his ACL I'm looking for some questions and some topics. Um, Topic of the night: who do you guys think will be traded by tomorrow's deadline? Do you guys think that big name players like Larry Fitzgerald, Jared Allen, or Hakeem Nicks will get traded? Will they stay with their teams? Other names being thrown around like a Josh Gordon, who might be going to Baltimore. The Ravens are looking for a receiver. So throw those comments down on some of the trade deadlines. I think the trade deadline ends tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Is it 3 o'clock Eastern or 4 o'clock Eastern?
I'm not sure. I'm still waiting on your weapon in the zombie apocalypse. That's what I'm waiting for, David.
I'll give you that at the end. I'll give you at the end of the Red Zone Blitz. Speaking of the end of the Red Zone Blitz, we've been on for, I'll probably say, a good hour and 15 minutes, so we'll keep it going for another 10, 15 minutes, see what we can get. See if there's any other comments. Are you familiar, or are you, did you kind of see what happened to Robert Griffin III this weekend? He hurt his other knee, I believe it was.
Oh, yeah, and then I heard it was a precaution move. It wasn't, I heard he's fine. He's ready to play next week. So they put in Kirk Cousins. So, yeah, it wasn't I think people are just making a big deal because of his history of injuries and, surgeries and torn ACLs, WFCLs, WWFLs he got. I don't know, but it's not that serious. He'll be fine. He'll be playing next week. Same thing with Tom Brady, talking about his swollen hand. People are talking about that. Tom Brady said, I'll be there next week. Don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. And that's a situation we should be talking about. Tom Brady, I know because his wide receivers haven't been very, consistent this year. He's playing with a bunch of new guys, and Gronk was out for most of the year. He's been very human this season, Tom Brady. Look at his numbers. It's not that spectacular. And this week, even though they won, had 116 yards or something like that?
Yeah.
Putting up jet quarterback numbers. So, I don't know.
I think it's been a combination.
Is it something more than just the Patriots offense?
No.
Okay.
I think it's been a combination. I don't know if it's his receivers dropping passes and having rookie receivers that he's throwing to. Can we get on the subject or the discussion of Tom Brady starting to maybe lose it a little bit? Can we say that?
I want to say no. Even though I would love to say yes and see it happen.
Well, hey, we might actually be seeing it happen in front of our eyes, and we just don't know it yet. He's got Gronk back. He's got Amendola back. He didn't do too hot against the Dolphins yesterday. Yeah, you have a rookie in Kenbrell Tompkins and the guy out of Marshall. I always forgot Aaron Dobson. I understand that you have young receivers who are dropping passes, but there's going to be a point in time where these guys are probably going to be on the same page you are, and you're just not getting the passes to them accurately. You're not making the right decisions. I don't know. We might actually be seeing it, and we don't want to believe that it's Tom Brady. We want to blame it on the receivers in New England, that they're young and that they're injured, and they're coming off of injuries in Amendola and Gronk. But what if it is Tom Brady? We don't know that. Maybe we are seeing it, and we just don't know. Because, like you said, the numbers aren't looking good at all right now for Tom Brady.
It's not. It's just been. It's not a one-game thing. It's not a two-game thing. It's been an all-season thing. Emmanuel, comment box. He's all about the Chiefs Broncos this week. So, David, before we close out the Red Zone Blitz, and before you give us your weapon in the zombie apocalypse, and before you tell us what you're going to be for Halloween, David. Chiefs, Broncos, who do you have as favorites? Who do you have winning? Yeah, put them on the spot.
I'm I'm gonna say the Broncos, and uh, it's actually a hard decision to make. Some people might think it's easy. It's not, because you have the Chiefs, who are giving up 89 points the entire season. Out of the 8 games that they've played, they've given up 89 points in 8 games. The Broncos, in their probably first 2 games, put up more than 89 points. Meaning, you've got the best offense in the league, the most high-scoring offense in the league, in the same division as the undefeated Chiefs, who are giving up the least amount of points in the league, and the number 1 defense. You gotta battle number 1s here going up against each other. I'm gonna say the Broncos. I'm gonna say they're gonna be able to put up, 20. Let's say they don't put up their 44 points that they usually put up every week. Let's say they put up 24. Let's give them 20 less points. Do you think the Chiefs' offense can put up 25 points or more? I don't think they'll. They usually aren't doing that. They'll put up 17.
I think against the Broncos defense, even Von Miller, even though he was playing pretty well this past weekend, yeah, like they got a stud in Jamal Charles, and I'm hoping, okay, they'll be a little bit more aggressive with the play calling, with the type of team they're playing. I think sometimes, even though I'm not a huge Alex Smith guy, there was times when I used to watch him with the 49ers, like, dude, you got to let this guy loose. You got to let him try to win the game and not just be a game manager. And I think this is one of those games where Andy Reid has to be like, I need you to be I want to say real quarterback. I need you to win me this game. Okay? Not this safe, usually be yourself, but I need to be more aggressive. I need you to go downfield and stuff like that. And I think they could throw up, 31 points on the Broncos. I think they can.
If you want to get in a shootout with the Broncos, you're going to lose.
No, I'm not saying get in a shootout. No.
No, because if you're putting up 31 points,
you're hoping that you can hold the Denver Broncos.
You already know the Broncos
points.
aren't running. You already know neither team is running. That's why it goes against your point in Jamal Charles. If they want to score 31
Jamal
points,
Charles can catch the ball out of the backfield and do damage.
He's not going to run the ball. No, if you want to score 31 points, just in general, I want to say you're passing the ball more than you're running it. That's just me, though. As an observer here, watching the Broncos every week, it's probably fair to say they're passing the ball 60% of the time, running the ball 40% of the time, and that's kind of, in the NFL, that's actually a little bit unbalanced. You want to probably 55-45, somewhere in there. 60-40, you're more of a passing offense. The Chiefs, I'd say they're more 50-50. If you want to get in a shootout with the Broncos, you got to change that up.
But that's what I said. They got to be a little bit more aggressive. And when the Colts beat the Broncos, how did they disrupt? How did they bother Peyton Manning? Robert Mathis, that pass rush, and the Chiefs can do that. Okay? They have 2 very good pass rushers over there in Kansas City. I don't know if I'm leaning towards the Chiefs, because I said a couple weeks ago I don't believe their offense can keep up with the Broncos, but I don't think they're far off either. I'm gonna go with the Broncos here. I'm going with the safe, quote unquote, safe pick, even though the Chiefs have a better record. But this to me is their big test. Even if they lose, but if they can keep it close and keep them under 45 points, they showed me something. And I think they have the ingredients to beat the Broncos. I just don't see it this week.
Don't be surprised if the Chiefs win. Don't be surprised if the Chiefs win. I'm going to take the Broncos in actually a close game. I'm going to say it's going to be close because the defense is the Kansas City Chiefs defense is actually going to come and they're going to play. Now, I want to say the Chiefs are going to, if they're going to win either one of the 2 games that they play against the Broncos, they're going to do it at home. So I don't know where this game is being played. If it's at home, they have a better chance of winning than they do in Denver. And I want to say the Chiefs Stadium has been a couple weeks ago was louder than Seattle Stadium. They actually broke a record for a sound barrier or something. I don't know what it was. It's hard to play in Kansas City. You're playing an 8-0 team. You're playing the best defense in the NFL, and now you're playing against the loudest crowd in the NFL. It's gonna. Kansas City has home field advantage every time they play, for sure. There's other stadiums where you play. You're probably playing in the dome. You're like a Falcons and Rams team. Both teams playing domes is probably not too much different. If you're a dome team, or if you're a team that's not used to the noise, and you're going to KC, get ready. It's going to be a different experience for you. But Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs. I'm gonna say it's gonna be close. I'm gonna say it's close. I want to look that up real quick. I want to say where it's being played. Let me take a look at the schedule. You said you're taking the Broncos too?
Yes, sir, I am.
Let's take a look here.
He's taking a look.
Well, they play Buffalo next week. Week 10, do they play each other then?
I was just going off away, Emmanuel. I said next week. Oh, come on, Emmanuel. You messed me up, man.
No, I don't know when they play. This is not week 9, not week 10. Week 11. Week 11, Kansas City plays in Denver. Yeah, I'm just gonna click on that.
Well, Emmanuel believes. He said he don't want to get on the Chiefs too much, but he believes they had a weak schedule.
And that's true too. I mean, look, I'm looking at their schedule right now.
They beat the Jaguars, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants. Sorry, we have the video playing. Titans, Raiders, Houston, Browns.
That's a very easy schedule.
Man, let's see. Cowboys, Titans.
That's it. No, you got to stop after the Cowboys. After the Cowboys,
you got to put up the Titans too, man.
Listen. Jaguars losing record. Cowboys, I believe they're 4-4.
Yes.
Eagles losing record. Giants losing record. Titans are at. I forget what they're at right now.
They're
Titans
3-4. I believe they're 3-4.
They're 3-4, losing record. Raiders, I think they're at a losing record.
3-4.
Houston, losing record. Cleveland. What's Cleveland at?
They're losing record.
Okay, so out of
also
all the teams that they've played, not one has a winning record, and the Cowboys come the closest, and they're 4-4. There might be an argument to be made. But at this point, you're playing professional teams. You're playing teams that have the best players in the world. But they just, I don't know. I'm taking the Broncos. Don't be surprised if the Chiefs win at least one of the two games. If they're doing it in Kansas City. That's my take on those two teams. I'm gonna take one more question before we cut this off. It'll be about an hour and a half. If you want to say something, you can go ahead and say something.
Something. I was looking at a nice pair of
socks
on my phone. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Okay. All right. And tonight I got to look for my Halloween costume. Okay. If you guys want to know that worthless information.
I think we might just wrap it up because there's not too many questions being sent in like there was earlier, which is awesome. A lot of questions were being sent in. A
lot of comments, a lot of activity tonight. So I guess this Monday night debut and trial run was a success, right?
I would say so. I think we're gonna have to keep it on Monday night. Right after Monday Night Football, we'll hop on with you guys every week from here until the Super Bowl, maybe,
or until
I don't know.
Ezra's job changes the schedule for no reason.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. But
12:30 a.m. Well, Eastern time. Excuse me.
Is it still is it 12:30 or 1:30?
For me, no, it's 12:30 Monday night. It'll be cool.
It's not 1:30 anymore.
12:30. You don't like 12:30? You want 1:30? You
No,
want it later?
no. I want it. 12:30 is good. I'm just making sure you're not changing your schedule again.
Yeah, man. I don't change my schedule. I'm not a boss like that. Okay. I'm not Matt Millen. I'm not Jerry Jones. I am, as you all guys know,
I hope you're neither one of those guys.
I'm a nobody. No, I really, honestly, I don't want to become one of those guys in the sense of a manager at a place that I'm at. If I want to become a president of the NFL team, a basketball team, sure, I'll accept that position. But my life goals, I do not want to be a manager. Too many hours. Okay, I like to have freedom. I like to be out there in the world. 8 hours and I'm out.
I'm trying to think of a weapon that I would use in the zombie apocalypse. I can't. I don't. A bow and arrow. Put me up on a hill.
Are you serious?
Put me up on a hill.
I said on a fantasy. A bow and arrow?
Listen, I'm keeping it simple. As a matter of fact, you just give me a slingshot, man. Just put me on a hill, put me up in a tower.
Any weapon, and you pick the lamest.
Hey, I'm changing my weapon. I'm changing it from bow and arrow to slingshot.
You'll be dead. I'm sorry, David. You'll be dead. You'll be, you know.
I really, honestly, dude, I don't know.
And
just
I
give me a gun.
Just
give me a gun.
I wouldn't run with you, David.
Give me a gun.
I'm going the other way. This guy got a slingshot.
Give me a Glock 9. Give me something. I don't care. Just give me something. I'll find a way to survive. Don't worry about me.
Okay. All right.
Don't worry about
You'll
me.
survive as a zombie because that's what you're going to turn into after you get eaten. Yeah. You're done.
It's a Halloween edition, right?
Okay, and I'll have a saber, from Star Wars.
Yeah, that's not a bad choice. I like that choice.
Because I don't have to rely on ammo. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I need a charger for it. Do they take chargers? I've never seen it. I never seen them like what they do to charge. I don't know if it's always or maybe it's just the Force. I need to learn the Force or something. But the saber,
can I go
slicing these zombies up?
Can I go like Super Saiyan? Is that a weapon?
A Super Saiyan? You can't go Super Saiyan.
Come on.
Powers. That's powers.
Come on.
You're cheating with that. That's cheating.
I don't know.
You'll get eaten too while you're Super Saiyan up because usually Goku's doing and it takes him 3 episodes to throw a Hamikane, whatever, Hamikame bomb or whatever. So you'll be dead while you're there saying Hame, Hame. A zombie's still walking towards you, and you're bitten right on the neck and you're dead. So I don't know if I want to be a Super Saiyan because, dude, it takes way too long. It's an hour and a half.
That is that.
We got a good one. He said, Doe said he would have an Iron Man suit. Look at that.
That's not a weapon.
Iron Man suit is a weapon. Oh man, here we go. Someone had to say I look like Aaron Hernandez, right? Someone just had to do it. Someone had to do it.
Hey, you know what? Right. I'm serious. I'm serious.
That is scary. Emmanuel
Listen,
said Mark Sanchez for Halloween. That is scary.
No, I'm serious. Do it. Go buy an Aaron Hernandez jersey. Oh man, but you're a Jets fan. Just do it. It's scary. It's scary. Put on the Aaron Hernandez jersey, and bring like an airsoft gun or something. I don't know.
No, that's making light of that situation.
Yeah,
he's an idiot.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's a complete idiot. Halloween costume, I don't know what yet. I don't know what to be. No, I know what I'm gonna be for Comic-Con next year. I'm gonna be a Thundercat.
That's cool.
Oh, I gotta work on my cry. But Iron Man suit, that's a good one because he'll be blasting these zombies easy. That's a good one, man. I like that Iron Man. So you're dead. I'm running with my man over here. All right, while you're dead.
Look, I've thought about this before. You just gotta jump on a boat with all your supplies, cause
on a boat or a yacht, because I'm not.
Whatever. Listen. The point is, you're out on the water, cause I don't think zombies can swim. We're turning this into Wake Up It's Football to
You're thinking.
Wake Up and Kill Some Zombies or something. But I guess this is the Halloween edition. The last 10
come
minutes
on,
of this.
you know what I'm saying?
The
Thursday's
Halloween special.
You don't know anything was going on. It's all right, David. I'm going to let you slide. And, you know, you got Idiot Sports Talk on here. You're gotta expect some idioticness, even though it's not idiotic because it's Halloween, zombies, you need weapons. That's just common sense to me. This is what I think about. This is what I got to go through.
Common sense to me says zombies don't swim, meaning you go out on a yacht or a boat or whatever.
With a couple honeys, you know what I'm saying? And you're chilling out there.
Sure. Make sure you want a
couple honeys with you, right? Right, David?
Make sure you got enough food and water and obviously some weapons.
And if the honeys,
lightsabers or whatever,
honeys got to get off the yacht.
Yeah, you gotta feed the honeys to the zombies.
Yeah, to the zombies. You're cruel. You know, you're a cruel man.
I'm trying to
throw them off
survive.
the boat, and you talk about feeding to zombies. You know what? I think.
If it's like, never mind. Never mind.
It's all over, man. Red Zone Blitz, right?
Red Zone Blitz. Last 10 minutes, Halloween special, if that's what you want to call it. Question of the night: who gets dealt tomorrow before the trade deadline?
Nobody.
That's Ezra's answer. Me, I don't think too many big names get dealt either.
But I would love to see Knicks in a Jets jersey. Just saying. What trade would you like to see with the Packers? And we'll end it with that.
That's funny. I'm not gonna make it exciting at all because 540 ESPN asked that same exact question on Facebook, and I said word for word, nobody. It's Ted's way or the highway. Hashtag in Ted Thompson we trust. Because Ted Thompson does not trade draft picks for bums off the street or guys who he thinks are gonna get fit into the team. And he's a draft and develop. They put this number out, believe it or not. 50 of the 53 guys on the Green Bay Packers roster have only played for the Green Bay Packers. 50 of 53. And the second team behind them, the most they had was 40. So that's just kind of the Packer way. You draft them, you develop them, and you keep them as your own. You don't really go out and find people. So my answer is nobody. Red Zone Blitz, man. Again, check out FanDuel.com. Check out Idiot Sports Talk on Facebook. That's Facebook.com/IdiotSportsTalk. Facebook.com/WakeUpItsFootball. You guys can check us out on Twitter as well. We appreciate everybody who threw down comments tonight. There's a lot of comments, a lot of activity for, it's 1 in the morning Central Time, 2 in the morning Eastern. But I guess we're going to keep doing this. Just right after Monday Night Football, you guys are up, you guys are active. It was awesome. So we appreciate you guys all sending in your questions. Don't forget to subscribe to the channels, Wake Up It's Football and Idiot Sports Talk. Ezra, any last comments for the guys out there?
What would be your weapon? That's all.